Hi everyone, welcome to Get Ready with me, Louise. So today I've got a new palette and we are going to be playing with the By Mario palette. It is the Ethereal Eyes. It's kind of a good name for this palette, to be honest with you. I've got a hair somewhere and it's driving me insane. I don't know if it's cat hair or a brush hair, but it is driving me crazy. Anyway, let me show you what the palette looks like. So it looks like this. It's got a nice large mirror on this side of it. And these shades are just gorgeous. Now, price point, $68. That's not so gorgeous. I did already swatch these shades on my hand. So let me hold it up like this and like this. So I went from, whoops, stuck my finger in it. Lovely, lovely. Alright, let me do it like this here. So what I done was I went across the first row will be this one, the second row, the third row. And he has them labeled EE1, EE2, just as you go across. Let me find, we'll use this one. So this would be EE1 to EE4, and that would be marked right here. So EE1, EE2, EE3, EE4. And then EE5, 6, 7, 8. And let me tell you that there is gorgeous. That would be here, 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 and here. Now these shimmers, they kind of do sort of look the same a little bit. But, you know. So 9, 10, 11, and 12 would be 9, 10, 11, 12. So it does go from a pretty light to a pretty dark shade if you want it to. So it does have a little bit of, you know, depth to it for sure, if you're looking for that. Let's go ahead and start. I'm going to start with the EE5, which is this one right here, I guess, if I'm reading the back of the brush right, or back of the box. If I'm reading the back of the palette right, that is the way it goes. I am going to try to get that off my hand a little bit. I mean, it's a pretty palette, you know, it is. You know, I'm not going to deny that. My question is the price point for it, and that is always my issue with things. Like, really, there is rarely a bad eyeshadow formula. It's really about preference and then price point, in my opinion anyway. When I look at a palette, like, I mean, formula definitely, you know, makes a palette for me, because it has to be easy. As I'm a beginner and don't know what I'm doing, I need things to kind of work, just work in general, you know, because if they don't and I have to like blend a lot and struggle and, you know, like, I can't do that because I'm not professional. But I will say this palette's really easy to use, to be honest. There is a lot of kick up when you put your brush in the powders. I'd go very lightly because a lot comes off. I'm going to take that same shade and we're going to run it under the lower lash line. And I will say these shades build up and they do resemble what is in the palette. So that's the color you're going to get, at least from the shades I've worked with. Just want to get my line marked there so I don't go over it for sure. I'm trying to get better at making my eyes look the same. Whether they do or don't at the end, I couldn't tell you, but I am trying. Sometimes I think I do really good, and other times I think that I am so far off that it doesn't even look like they're in the same family, to be honest. So, okay, then the next shade we're going to go into is E7, and it's a pinky a pinky shade. But can you see how much powder came up from one tap in? It's a lot, and it's a lot on the brush. And if you tap it, you can just see it, you know? So, you know, I don't mind it. I don't get fallout from it. So I'm okay. Now, if I got fallout, it might be a different story. Because, I mean, I do my makeup first. So it would cause problems. Since I do my base makeup first. But that's just because it's just my preference, you know? Some shadows I will make an exception with, you know? If I know I have to look good, like I use a Pat McGrath palette, I will do that first. Even though, honestly, I don't ever have any issues. And I find it so funny, too, that some people will have issues with a palette, like fallout and stuff, and other people don't. And I'm like, but if everybody does the same, how does that happen? I'm so curious on that. Like, if everybody's application is the same, how? I mean, I guess just the eyelid itself, I suppose. But I do wonder about that from time to time. But I more wonder about it when people are like, oh, it's great, and I try it, and I don't like it. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Now, this isn't the first palette that I tried of Mario's. It is the first in, like, this kind of setup. I have tried his 4-pan palettes before. And if I remember correctly, I do think I liked them, to be honest. I don't really remember, though. It's been a while since I played with them. Okay. Now I'm going to take this last shade here, that EE12, and it's stamped. It's got by Mario stamped into that shade. And I'm just going to run it right against the lashes. On the bottom lash line. I'm actually surprised I'm even getting this video up. I wanted to play with this palette for so long, I've had it. But I was doing other palettes first. And my kids started fighting. And I wasn't quite paying attention. And I had already put mascara on this eye when I was doing this eye. Not thinking. Then I was sitting there trying to get it off. And I didn't want to make a mess. So there is a little mascara left on that lash. Although it would be nice if my lashes naturally look like that, though. Again, I'm just sort of marking. I find if I mark shadows and then go in, it works better for me for some reason. I don't know why. But I'm just going back in with that same shade that I used first. But yeah, I find it works better when I go to put it up there. I get it more even in a sense. Alright, I got that on the lower lash line good enough. Alright, then I'm going to take the shade, let me make sure I got that nice and blended. I think I do, but it's hard to tell with me. Alright, now I'm going to take that same dark shade, and I'm just going to put it right in this outer corner here, just to deepen it up a little bit. Not much, though. I'm just going to blend it. Oh, no. I went into the wrong shadow. That would have been awful. Just whenever I do that, I just use one of these little cloths and run my brush across it. And it does pretty good at cleaning off the brush, to be honest. It may leave a little bit behind, but not much of anything. And I feel like that cloth is a much better choice to use than those switch things, because the switches kind of scare me, to be honest. Because they seem so rough. I'm just making sure I got the depth even on both sides. Okay. And I'm not going to take it all the way in. And then we'll just blend. I will say though that this shade here is the most prettiest shade I've seen in a while. And it's the shade EE6. Yeah, EE6. We're going to put this all over the lid. I'm not going to spray it. And I'm not going to lay anything down. I'm just going to go really easy so I don't get that much fallout and pat the shade on. I mean, it just looks so pretty. But at the same time, it does look familiar to me. Which means that it is in another palette of mine somewhere. Something close to this anyway. This look, color, and everything, like the way... That's the other thing. Just because the shade looks the same, I also take into account like how I feel when I'm applying a shade. And like that shade gives me some sort of feels. I mean, it's almost giving me the feels like of Pat McGrath, like when I put her shadows on. Now it's not the same, by no means, not the same. But you know how when you get those like feels of like, I don't know, of yes, it looks good, and yes, you have accomplished something, or I don't know, it's everything you wanted it to be type of thing. That's what this shade gives me. And again, I didn't spray it or anything or use anything. However, I do feel like throughout the day I will get fallout down my face. I do feel that. I'm going to use the shade E2 and I'm going to go into my inner corner with it. Yeah, that's the shade I used. Had to think of there for a minute. So if you were wearing this for like a long day of work or something, I definitely would use something to like make sure it stays, whether you spray it or use your finger or whatever it may be. Just make sure you do something, because there will be fallout, because I have a little bit, not much, from applying it, but this eye has sat for a little bit and it does have some fallout already. But again, I didn't spray it, I didn't use anything, so I was well aware that that could happen. Okay, so that is all I used as far as the palette goes. So now I'm just going to use my Gucci mascara and put it on the top lashes. Just use the mirror and the palette. I was actually going to line the top lashes, but I used a brown liner for my waterline, and I thought that that's good enough. I also think this look would be really pretty with brown mascara. I feel like I need to do more looks just so I can use that colorful mascara from Pat McGrath. But I just don't have time. Then for the lower lashes, I'll use the MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash. And we are done. Alright. I don't think I made a mess this time with the mascara. I am getting a lot of fallout though. And I do know that it is for my eyes. Actually, I think it might be transferring even on my hooded eyes. But I didn't use anything, so don't hold that against me. I will play with the palette more though, for sure, and get back to you on that. But I think if you would use an adhesive, I don't think you're going to have a problem. I could be wrong. But overall, like, I really like this look. I do. Now, is this look worth the price tag of this palette? I don't know. I really don't. Because I do feel like this shade is familiar, which means it is in my collection, but where is it in my collection? I couldn't tell you. But the price point, you're getting 12 shades. With that kind of price point, I mean, there's a lot of indie brands out there, you know what I mean, that you can get these shades. It really, what was it? I can't think of it. Like the Lunar Beauty brand, they got that nude palette. I mean, and they've got metallic shades like this too, you know? And I believe it's cheaper. I know it's cheaper actually. So for the price point, I'm kind of up in the air. If you get it at a discount, absolutely. I don't think you'll be disappointed at that point. I got mine for the 20% off because I got it through Sephora. So I don't know. It's really just up to you on it. Obviously, I bought it, so I'm going to use it, and I like it for that reason. But I don't know if I would say run out and buy it, although I really do like this look. So I guess really it's just based up to you all what you think and what your price point is, to be honest. I am going to put a little bit of this gloss on my lips. It is the Natasha gloss. There we go. Yes, I love this gloss. I swear I think that lip set right there is worth everything. It goes with every look. I swear it does. But that is all I have for you today. I hope this video helped in some way, shape, or form. If it did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, hit all that are notified when I do upload. I upload, you know, every day but Sunday. Although, you know, sometimes stuff happens. But for the most part, that is my schedule. And I will see you in the next one. And until then, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.